Hi, Brian Boyle here, physical therapist with Workwell Prevention and Care. Today we want to talk about how do we onboard employees in a physically demanding job. Well, really the gold standard is to have a functional job analysis that's validated and then provide a functional job description for that job, take the employee through a post-offer employment screen. What they would do is they would be able to then see how physically demanding that job is. You'll be able to test for their ability to perform that job really before they're even taken into the to the workforce. Obviously, this is post offer, so it's after they've received a job offer for it, and it's conditional upon them passing that. But it gives the therapist an opportunity to talk to the employee at that time about the job, some ins and outs, and watch points, things to look for. Then having a new hire orientation, which clearly outlines with the physical therapist, on site there, the ins and outs of the job, right? Of where they're going to expect to feel aches and pains. What kind of things can they do at home to kind of reduce that pain or inflammation that they're going to expect? The therapist can talk to them about, in the first week, this is what you'll probably feel. Second week, third week, all the way through the 6th week, 8th week, what you would expect, how can we mitigate that pain or that inflammation, what can we do to help you resolve that. Know that it's going to be very common, that this isn't something that you're facing alone. So when the employee has that kind of that next step and they understand, okay, this is probably going to be a physically demanding job, we want to make sure that the therapist is available, right? So now the therapist is following up with them, and they can follow up with them for the first 2, 4, 6 weeks. They can do that daily, they can do that weekly. Whenever the employee is on site, knowing that the employee has access to the therapist is also great, because if they do raise their hand and say, hey, I've got something that's going on, let's get it taken care of, looked at right now, okay? This is, again, another point where a lot of times people will self-select out. They'll say, this job's just too hard. I can't do this. It's not worth the pain. It's not worth all of these things. Maybe they don't know how to take care of their pain. So what ends up happening is that they just wash out. They just say, yeah, I'm good. I'm going to go to the next company down the street that's a little bit easier, or I'll go back to where I was. Yeah, the pain may not be as great, but I know it's a little bit easier and I don't have to worry about this. Another thing you can try is actually doing some new hire body conditioning. And what this looks like is when we take we can either do a station inside the building, right? So you can take a dedicated area and it can have posters and say things like resistance bands or weights that the employees can then go over there and do body conditioning. So if you think about, all right, if you're going to be flexed forward, you're going to be doing a lot of bicep work, a lot of flexion posture, which is very common. We do a lot of lifting, pulling in front of us. What we would do is we would do things to open up the chest wall and have the employee do exercises that would work the opposite muscles to help their body condition to the overuse that's going to occur in one direction. So we go the opposite direction. This works really, really nicely, especially in really physically demanding jobs where you have enough space, right? Where you can take that dedicated space. Therapists can design this body conditioning platform. You get minimal equipment, but just have workstations over there where people can kind of cycle through. And really what's nice is that you can either do this before or after the shift. They can do it on breaks. You can dedicate the time. Really, it's just a matter of the culture of your company. Well, we've seen this work really, really well to reduce the number of overuse injuries in that one direction movement that occurs throughout the day. So lots of options. Again, these are the gold standards. In a future video, we'll talk about what if you don't have the gold standard? What if you can't get all of these things in? How do we then, again, help the new hire coming on board stay with you so that they are in good shape, that they're not washing out due to pain or whatever that may be, that they just say, I can't do this job. That's in the next video. Appreciate you watching. If you have any questions, go to workwell.com. Until next time, we'll see you again.